What's good, everybody? Rhetorical question life. My name is Heavy Bree, and welcome to my channel. And if this is your 15th or 25th or 200 or 2000th time on my channel, welcome back. Appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. All of you guys who subscribe, like, or just give me, or just take time out of your day to sit and watch my videos and all that. Yeah, like I haven't really been posting as much recently, but like I recently just got back into posting. Been working on other stuff, in my life, going to school and other things. But yeah, on this channel, I sometimes review movies. I call them Breviews. My name's Heavy Breviews. So I have those on my channel. But recently, I just got back into reading. I was doing some decluttering. At the place where I'm staying at right now. I was doing some decluttering, and I found this book that I bought when I was out on the road. I found this book at Walmart. It was called Home is Where the Bodies Are, or Home is Where the Bodies Are. And it's a book by Geneva Rose. It's a kind of a thriller. It's kind of a mystery thriller novel. About these siblings, these two sisters and a brother who are from Wisconsin, and their mother has recently passed away. The eldest sister her name is Beth. She has a daughter and she works at a factory, but recently she took leave from her factory job to take care of her mom, and in her last days. The second oldest, the sister Nicole, she is strung out on drugs and dealing with all kinds of personal issues and everything. And then there's the youngest brother, Michael, who is more successful, and who's like more financially successful, and he lives like somewhere else. So he comes. So when the mom passes away, he comes back home. Beth is taking care of mom, and in mom's dying breath, in her last moments, Beth is with her, and she tells Beth that her father, who disappeared 7 years ago, before the story's events happened, the father disappeared. Like he just left. Like he just gone. And him disappearing kind of like threw the family into disarray. Like Nicole got heavier into drugs. Michael just left, dipped out because he probably couldn't handle what was going on. And Beth, she stayed and just kept looking for her father. She hired private investigators. She did a bunch of research. She tried reaching out to him, all that stuff. And after all these years, her mom, Laura, the mother Laura, after she passes away, right before she dies, she tells Beth, "Your father did not run away. He did not leave." And then shortly after that, she says, "Don't trust." But before she can get the rest of it out, she dies. Yeah, it's really like that's like the first chapter of the book. Like Laura passes away, tells Beth, "Your father did not leave. Do not trust." But she can't get it out because she it's her dying breath. Her last word is don't trust. And then now Beth is wondering, don't trust who? Where's Dad at? Because Beth for a long time has been looking for her father. And she had recently given up because after the father left, like a lot of things just went haywire in her life. The daughter, she got estranged from her daughter, who's in the armed forces, and then her ex-husband and her got a divorce, like about 2 years after the father disappeared. And then the sister Nicole is strung out, got heavier into drugs. She was already doing drugs, but she got into heavier stuff. And then Michael just kind of just dipped out, after the dad, after the dad, left. So, but this is a really good book, man. It's one of them stories that really kind of like, it draws you in, because the story is told from 3 different perspectives. It's told, 4 different perspectives. So the story is told from the perspective of the eldest daughter, Beth, the second eldest, Nicole, the younger brother Michael, and the mother Laura. So it's told from all four of their perspectives, and it's just a mystery story of finding out like what happened to the father, where the father is, but also there's other stuff that happens too, because once all three of them get back together, and there's a lot of like, you know, like hidden, like unveiled animosity amongst the siblings. They have a lot of like, you know, unresolved issues, like a lot of secrets and a lot of like things that they have going on in their life. And what happens is, but things get even more crazier when you know, the mom leaves the kids like the house and they have an attic full of home videos, because when mom was alive, she loved to you know, shoot home videos of the kids, of the family, of the kids, her husband, and everybody going on and everything. Because like Laura was very heavy in the community, and she loved to document all of like, you know, the family bonding on a bunch of home video cassettes. You know, she used to have the big camcorder, like back before for those of you who are, you know, who are a little too young to remember, back in the day, if you wanted to like, you know, shoot a video or record something, you had to like lug around this big, or you had to lug around a camcorder that was the size of a radio. Oh, you don't know what a radio is? So a radio is this device that, you know, used to play music on and listen to broadcasts. I mean, it's kind of like in the car, what you got in the car, but like they used to have these like these boom boxes and these devices. You listen to music and all kinds of stuff on and everything. But anyway, I digress. So mom had a camcorder. She used to record a lot of when all three of them were younger. She used to record all of them doing stuff and everything. And mom recorded a lot of like home videos. And so Beth, Nicole, and Michael, they get a hold of the videotapes. And they go through them, and they find one that they never watched before. It's titled Summer of 1999. That's the videotape title. Like each one has different ones. There's like birthdays, different dates, and the one that says Summer of 1999. At first, it has some regular family outing stuff and everything, and them doing family stuff. But then at the end, towards the end of the video, something else pops up in the video. Something that, you know, is kind of off. And that's where the story gets, because right now, like the siblings are already, well, Beth at the moment, she doesn't really like tell her siblings what their mom's last words were, so she kind of keeps it to herself. But you know, she kind of keeps that to herself, you know, the whole secrets and family things, but I'll get into that in a second. And she kind of keeps that to herself, but then once she watches the video, the summer of 1999 video with her siblings, and she sees that what happens on that videotape, things just get even stranger. And that's where the story kind of like, you know, I mean, the story's already full of a lot of interesting stuff happening, but when it gets to that point in the story, that's when the main conflict and the main issues in the story kind of like start taking place. And from there, it's just like, you know, you just can't put this, like bro, like I read this book. Look, I haven't read like a book or a novel. I haven't read anything. Sorry about that. It got kind of dark. I gotta face the light because I'm recording this at night. You know, I was recording some other video earlier, but I'm trying to, like, you know, stay in the light over here, because if I go this way, I just disappear. So I'm not trying to like blend into the darkness and all that. So what happens is I haven't read a book in a while. And this book isn't like it's not a long book, but it has a decent amount of pages in it. And I read through this book, not trying to brag, but I read through this book in like 2.5 days. You know, like I started reading it on Wednesday, and I stopped reading, and I finished it like Friday afternoon. Like I was reading this book while I was on the bus, taking the bus to school and everything, going back and forth from school, because like it was really that good. I just couldn't put this book down. And it's just the story is interesting. I haven't really been into a lot of like mystery thriller novels, but after reading this one, I kind of want to get back into it now. Shoot, like just really re-sparked like Jenna Rose's Jenna Rose's book. This book is called Home is Where the Bodies Are. Home is where the bodies are. Look, this story really kind of like got me back into reading and everything. Jenna Rose is a book. She wrote 2 or 3 other books before this one, and I'm probably gonna read those if they're as good as this one. Then I might read. I'm probably gonna read those too. Well, you know what? I'm not probably. I am gonna read those when I find them. But right now I'm reading some other books right now because I just got back into reading and everything. So every week I'm gonna start doing this thing called Read of the Week, and for this Read of the Week, I'm talking about Home is Where the Bodies Are by Jenna Rose. If you guys should check out this book, man. It's like it's a really good book. It's full of a lot of it's not just the mystery stuff, but it's also what each sibling has going on in their life, because each chapter is written from the perspective of the siblings. It's written from Bev's, like one chapter will be written from Bev's perspective. Another chapter will be written from Nicole's perspective, and then one chapter will be written from Michael's perspective, and then later on in the story the story starts getting told from their mother, from Laura's perspective. Like the story will go back in time and start being told from Laura's perspective, what she was going through, like journal entries from her and her whole what she was going through during these times, and get into her head. And it's a really good story full of twist. It's full of a lot of twist, a lot of relatable stuff. For some people it can be relatable, for some people it's not. I mean, I can't relate to everything to each character, but I know what it's like to be estranged from family, and what it's like to not have such a close relationship with people around you, especially people you grew up with, and then you lose contact with them and everything, and then they just become strangers, and then you wonder who is this person, what happened to this person, why aren't they who they used to be, and everything, because we all change. Nobody stays the same forever. Nobody is who they were 20 years ago. Shoot, nobody is who they were 5 years ago. Who you were 5 years ago is not the same person. We all change, we all go through different stuff and everything. And this story kind of shows how that change, and then how estrangement can affect people, and how keeping secret, and sometimes it causes us to not be as open or as transparent with those around us, especially people who we used to be close to and everything, and how how keeping secrets and not being open to people can sometimes lead to worse stuff, because that's what this book is about: secrets in family and people not being open with each other. I mean, yeah, it's a story full of all kinds of dark stuff and everything, but overall, the moral of the story is talking about how people need to be more open with those who are close to them. If you're close with somebody, don't keep secrets from them, okay? Don't keep secrets, and don't and don't hold on to stuff for years and years and years, because the longer you hold on to the stuff, the worse it gets. And that's what this story talks about, because as I was reading this story, a lot of the stuff that was happening in this story could have just been avoided. Well, one, if the parents had just been straight up with their kids and told them what was going on. If they had just told them what happened and what was going on and why stuff was happening, and just been straightforward with them, instead of just keeping it all a secret and acting like everything is okay, then things wouldn't have got out of hand. and because then when you keep stuff from your kids, or you don't keep it 100 with the people around you, then especially if it's your children or like somebody younger than you who you're responsible for, all that's gonna do is just mess them up later on in life. Case in point, Beth became estranged from her daughter. Like their father leaving or going missing, just it led to their mom, kind of just becoming a shell of herself and becoming estranged from her children, which led to Beth being estranged from her daughter, which led to Nicole getting heavier into drugs, and which led to Michael just isolating himself from the entire family. So, but what happens in the story, in the way that Jenna Rose writes these stories and writes this story, and the way she constructs it, it makes you it makes you want to get really, it really throws you into the story. And what I really liked about the story is that the chapters, when you're reading the book, the chapters aren't super long. Each chapter is its own scene, so it's not like it kind of feels like you're almost watching a show or a movie or something like that. Each chapter is kind of like a scene. They're not very long chapters. There is a lot of good imagery and a lot of good there's a lot of good imagery and metaphors and some really great lines. Throughout the book, as I was reading it, I was highlighting some really good lines from the book. I mean, later on when I might go back into the book. I might shoot a video where I go back and read some of my favorite parts from this book, because there were some really good lines in the book, and I want to probably share some of those lines, not the plot of the story, just the lines that I read in this book, that you guys might look at it and be like, oh snap, that's a bar right there, because there's a lot of good bars in this book. Okay, a lot of good bars, a lot of good metaphors, a lot of good analogies in this book. And Jenna Rose, I will be reading more of your Jenna Rose. If you're watching this video, you probably won't be watching it, but if you're watching this video, I will be reading more of your books, and I can't wait to read your next one. But yeah, overall, this is a great book. Something that you should really, that if you're a reader, you're definitely gonna, and you like mystery thrillers and everything, you will appreciate this story. And if you're not a reader, even if you're not a reader, like I said, it's not a very hard read. Okay, the chapters aren't super long. The longest chapter in the book is probably between about 7 or 8 pages. Okay, so you could just sit there and just you can breeze through this entire book in you can breeze through this entire book in a weekend, or within a week or a weekend, if you're not doing anything. If you're waiting at the DMV, you can knock out a quarter of the book in a DMV sitting. If you're at the DMV, if you're bored, or if you're waiting somewhere, if you're doing something, or you forgot to pay your phone, you forgot to pay your electric bill, so the electricity is out, so you got nothing to do, you can just read this book, man. Get some candles and read this book. In fact, it'll probably be even better, because there are some creepy ass parts of this book. So yeah, overall, I would say Jenna Rose's Home is Where the Bodies Are is definitely a must read, and I will be doing more I'll be doing more read of the weeks coming up soon, cause I just got back into reading, and I've already read right after I read Home is Where the Bodies Are, I went to the library and picked up 4 other books, man. I picked up a book by Walter Mosley, Walter Mosley, that I'll soon be doing a a read of the week on too, because I didn't just read just one book. I read I've been reading multiple books. I'll read one book, and then I'll go back to another book, and then read I've been binge reading a lot of books and everything. So I'll be doing a read of the week and dropping them every week, and like, so that way you guys can like see what I've been reading, and maybe if you guys want, and maybe hopefully my reviews or me talking about these books will probably get you into reading, man. Shoot, cause I was gonna wait till the beginning of the year to start doing the whole read one book a week, like, kind of thing. But now I'm all like, you know what? I'm already locked in. Like I'm almost done with Walter. I'm almost done with Walter Mosley's The Awkward Black Guy, or The Awkward Black Man. Like, I'm already like, yeah. And for those of you who are not familiar with Walter Mosley, he wrote Devil in the Blue Dress, which was made into a movie in the 1990s and stars Denzel Washington, with his well-known character Easy Rawlings. It's a detective novel. Yeah, like, I haven't read Devil in the Blue Dress yet, but like, in fact, I feel kind of embarrassed because Walter Mosley has a huge bibliography, and he has so many other good books. And my introduction to him was this book called The Awkward Black Man, which, from how I've been reading it, I can relate to myself, because like I can be awkward at times, So yeah, like I'll be doing a read of the week on that one, and many more to come. So stay tuned for those. Go back, and if you want, you can also go watch my my Breview videos under the Breview playlist of just different Breviews that I've done over time. Because I'm gonna be doing Breviews all the time. I'm gonna be doing way more Breviews, because I go to the movies almost every other week. So I'll be doing more Breviews on movies that I like. I'll also be reviewing shows, like streaming shows and everything, and maybe even some video games too. So I appreciate you guys for supporting my channel. Thank you all for watching this video, staying to the end and hearing me ramble on. If you guys want me to do shorter videos, longer videos, or if you're cool with however the length of time I'm doing with these videos, if you're interested in like learning, if you want to like see longer content, or if you want me to just shorten it down, please leave it in the comment down below. I appreciate you guys like taking time out of your day to watch my videos and listen to what I gotta say and getting my perspective on things. You guys are real ones. I appreciate every single last one of you. Peace and blessings, and I hope you guys all have a prosperous day.